Hi, this is Andrew and Joey from Outhouse Saloon, and we are reacting to the USA Panama World Cup qualifying game, where USA thrashed Panama 5-1 in Orlando. Joey, can we see the pre-match lineups?
Yeah, before we do that, I just want to raise one up for the boys for that awesome thrashing. Oh, yeah.
Just wait. He's going to raise one up for Pulisic.
All right, so we ran a 4-3-3 apparently. Couldn't really tell that throughout the match, but whatever. All right, so there was Stefan in goal with a back four of Miles Robinson, Walker Zimmerman, Anthony Robinson, Shaq Moore, midfield of Tyler Adams, Luca De La Torre, and Yunus Musa, and a front three of Jesus Ferreira, Pulisic, and Paul Arriola. All right, so knowing that lineup, what are your initial reactions to the match?
So initially, the first half was fast paced. The ref was inconsistent. I think once we jumped on top of them, the game was pretty much over. After 3-0. I actually thought we played better as a team in the second half, even though we only scored one goal. But I think they showed up. When they needed to show up.
All right, what I'd say is that overall it was a great match. We easily could have scored 7 or 8 goals. There were times where at the back we just looked discombobulated. I don't know if they need to work out their communication or their assignments or whatever, but there were too many balls that just got overturned right near or in our box that easily could have given Panama or someone better easy chances on goal. Other than that, the attacking looked great. Pulisic, we'll get into the individual stuff later, but overall, I was very impressed. Now, I guess let's move into some of what actually happened and go through some key events. Andrew, you want to start that off?
Sure thing. So the first key event was a penalty on Zimmerman in the box, and this was a shove by Godoy. This was initially missed by the on-field ref, reviewed by VAR, and given. Incidentally, the VAR was a Mexican official. In my opinion, looking at this penalty, due to the intent, if you look back, Godoy clearly looks at Zimmerman, sees where he's at, and then clearly shoves him. I would have given that penalty as well. So I think that is a fair penalty.
And of course, it led to
a Pulisic goal. One of many.
All right, next up.
So the next up, at 23 minutes, there was a great, wonderful cross by Anthony Robinson, which Arriola finished with a beautiful header. The cross and the finish, perfect. That's what you want to see.
And then not too much longer after that.
So on the next one, at 27 minutes, there's another goal by Ferreira with an assist from Arriola. This one I have in my notes actually was good because this was brought on by a counterattack by Arriola, and Pulisic came to help him, and then they kind of fluffed any chance they had to get the counterattack goal. But luckily they recovered, cycled the ball around in the Panamanian half, and led to a goal.
Yeah, the only thing I'll add to that is at the initial lead up to that goal, when our first attack got thwarted, Pulisic had one opportunity where he could either take it in himself or lay it off. And for once, he actually made the perfect decision and laid it off. And Yeah, it ended up working out.
Yeah, because earlier in the match, I have in my notes, he didn't make the right decision. He shot into a wall of 3 people around 10 minutes, and he had, I believe, Robinson on his left. So, yeah, good note.
All right, next up.
So here's a controversial one. There was a penalty on Robinson again by Godoy, which actually brought out the yellow card. To me, looking at this penalty, we've labeled it as wild limbs. I have in my notes this was a soft as a marshmallow penalty. To me, I do not believe this was a penalty. Although I believe that was the call of the on-field ref. So when it did go to VAR, there unfortunately, in my opinion, was not enough to overturn it. But I do believe this was not the correct decision. Something else to note is Godoy got a yellow card for this infraction, but did not get a yellow card for the earlier penalty, which was, to me, much more egregious. So again, we'll come on to when we score the players, we added the officials. I have a few more thoughts on the officiating from tonight.
Yeah, for this penalty, I mean, I'll take it. There was clear contact, whether it be light or, egregious, but whatever, I'll take it. That said, what did that call lead to?
It led to a second Pulisic goal.
That's right. All right, and then halftime comes. We make some substitutions. Coming out of the half, we had immediate subs, and it was Giovanni Reyna coming in for Areola, and then Kellen Acosta for Musa. I'm glad Reyna got some more time, and Acosta for Musa. I don't know. That seems kind of a wash to me.
Musa was not having a good game, and we'll come on to that later.
Yep. All right. So going from there, it kind of slowed down a little bit. And next up, we have
the third and first hat trick for Christian Pulisic as a U.S. men's national player. The assist, again, Robinson, wonderful assist, and he put it away. Actually, it was good to see him put this away because he had another chance slightly earlier that he could have taken and didn't take. For whatever reason, he tried to lay it off. I thought, in my opinion, he should have taken it on. But it was good to see him get his third goal here.
This goal was absolutely filthy. The way he just moved through the box like that, through 3 defenders, was beautiful. And one thing about Anthony Robinson is I just don't get him. There's times where he will make some absolutely boneheaded mistakes, and then out of nowhere he just quietly brings up some goal contributions, and by the end of the game he has some decent stats.
2 moments of brilliance tonight.
Yep. All right, and then to end it, we have
the clean sheet breaker by none other than Godoy. He's assisted by Davis. Again, should this guy still have been on the field? Who knows? In my opinion, it was well-deserved. I do not think USA deserved a clean sheet. I think Panama was a little hard done. Even by getting 1 goal, they had quite a few chances to score, and they just lack quality. And frankly, sometimes they got unlucky around the box.
Yeah, all I'll say with this one is I don't remember exactly, but I feel like this was another scenario where our defense or midfield kind of coughed the ball up. Or no, it was
this is a free kick.
That's right.
Free kick.
It was
someone was not man marking, and I don't know who it was. I'm always going to blame Zach Steffen. It doesn't matter, but someone clearly missed it because it's a free header, top right corner. He did what he needed to do. I believe this was Godoy's 4th goal ever as a national team member, and he's played, I don't know, maybe 180, 100 games, a lot of games. So he doesn't score much. So that tells you there was definitely a defensive breakdown in this set piece.
Yeah, definitely. We've already mentioned it a couple times, Stefan. Like, I don't know if he really could have done better in this particular instance, but I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, he probably could have.
I was joking. I think it was a good header. I blame the man marking more, but his reflexes. We're gonna get on rating the players here in a second, and I'll have more to say on that.
Yeah, and then the only thing I'll add is that around the 60th minute, there was a chance that Ferreira had, and he should have scored. I wrote down, like, how do you miss that? I don't get it.
Yep,
I
I
don't
also wrote that, and I will be scoring Ferreira. And yep, I have poor shot. It's minute 60. Needs to do better.
Yep. All right, so that actually brings us into perfectly into our player ratings. First up, we have Zach Steffen. What do you say for him?
So the caveat here is we won 5-1, so no one's going to get really low ratings. I believe he was the worst player on the field today for the United States team. Especially his first half was especially poor. He had poor command of the area. Around 20 minutes, he got lucky. He left the goal wide open. A few times he couldn't corral the ball in. One specific time he jumped too early and the ball went off of his fingertips. Luckily, the Panamanian, didn't really know what to do with it. So it didn't come back to bite him. But overall, I think if there was a better finishing team and some more luck, there would have been more than one goal. I don't think tonight was his night. He looks like a player that is, to me, out of form, he doesn't play regularly. And I think it shows by his play tonight. His reflexes were not as sharp as you would want. So hopefully between now and the World Cup, he needs to do something to get more game time at Man City, whether this is a loan or, if they sell him something. He needs to be playing more regularly for the World Cup if he's going to be the USA #1. So, Joey, do you agree or have any additional thoughts?
Yeah, all I say is we've talked about this before. Neither of us rate him that highly. I'm not surprised that we didn't end up with a clean sheet between our overall defensive woes in general and Stefan being the way he is. I'm not surprised. I honestly don't know if he has the aspirations to play anywhere else other than City. It seems that he's perfectly fine accepting the role of a backup. And I mean, that's fine if that's what you want to do, but I'm sure there will come a time where he won't make the roster and he'll just have to deal with it.
That is a good another show topic. If you're Greg Berhalter in the fall, do you pick him for your #1 if he's still not playing?
Yep. #1 definitely has to be Matt Turner when he comes back. But other than that, I don't even think Stefan should be #2.
So you don't think he's on the plane? He's sitting at home.
Yeah. I think clearly right now it should be Horvath. And I think, honestly, he probably might start against Costa Rica. But we'll see.
He's been doing good recently at Nottingham Forest, so he's gotten lucky. And they're contending. They're pushing for a playoff spot in the championship. So I think he's played their last 4 or 5 games. He's draws and clean sheets. 1-1 draw, I think, and 2 clean sheets. So, yeah, I would like to see him start Costa Rica. I think he will. I agree with you on that one.
Yep. All right. So next up is Shaq Moore. I'd say did okay. I think he's definitely better than Yedlin or Cannon at this moment. There wasn't anything that stood out, but I'd say he's pretty much going to secure his spot as Serginho Dest's backup, and I'm perfectly happy with the way he played.
Yeah, the only thing I have on my list is he gave the ball away in midfield a few times, and he had a horrific shot around the 57th minute. So just don't shoot, and he'll be okay. Like you said, he's a good backup for Dest.
Yep. All right, next up, Walker Zimmerman.
So Walker Zimmerman, I gave him a 7 out of 10. I think he was not the best of the back four, but when you almost keep a clean sheet, you're going to get a higher rating. I think he was clever in drawing the penalty. I think he knew it was coming. I think he clearly saw it was coming. So I think he did a good job there in winning the penalty. In terms of his defensive contributions, I didn't see anything egregious that would, drop him in the rankings.
Yep. There's nothing else I can say to that. For me, the whole defensive back four kind of just going to be like that. Whereas, they were decent. Some mistakes as a collective unit, but individually they seemed pretty decent. That takes me into Miles Robinson, 7 out of 10. Same thing. He also won one of the penalties and made some good stops. I remember he did a good job keeping a couple crosses out, and overall solid as an individual.
He did,
yeah,
he did miss a free header though. So again, what are you going to do? But
yep. All right, and then Anthony Robinson.
So I have Anthony Robinson. I gave him a 7.5 out of 10. He was this. I think today was a pretty good game for him. If I'm him, I'm feeling great. Both assists were spectacular. So his offensive contributions was great. I would say his defense still needs work. That's what was keeping him out. Personally, for me, giving him an 8. But he had 2 wonderful assists, and if he can keep that up, that's what the team needs on the left-hand side.
Yep, I'd agree. The only thing that I'll say is that I mentioned this previously where he'll have a couple boneheaded mistakes. There was a moment in, I believe, around the 20th minute or so where Zimmerman gave just a dumb foul away, which that might be a topic that we can get onto at some point, is that the U.S., we seem to just give some ridiculous fouls away, but whatever. And then that Zimmerman foul ended up leading to some incredibly tense moments inside our box. And then as soon as it seems that we maybe have that handled, Anthony Robinson just gives the ball right back away. I don't know. Like you said, he ends up with 2 assists. Overall has a decent game, but that very well could have gotten Panama right back in the match.
Yeah, I mean, that was early enough where that would have, if I remember correctly, that was right after the penalty, so that could have definitely swung the momentum. And that's actually one of the times that I noted that the command of Zach Steffen, they got really lucky. in that scrum. So.
Yep. All right, next up, Yunus Musa. Gave him a 7 out of 10. He came off at halftime and didn't really do too much. He got on the ball and tried to, I guess, keep control of it to, gain some tempo for the club. I don't know. To me, he didn't really do anything exceptional. So with a 5-1 win, I don't know how we could give anyone, that didn't do anything obviously horrific below like a 7.
Now, I will say in the first half, though, and we'll get to, I got Adams and De La Torre. In the first half, our midfield was getting overrun.
Yep, I agree. All right, that leads us to Tyler Adams.
So Tyler Adams, what to say about him? I don't have anything. To me, I don't remember too much from him about the game. So without any special moments, being in the midfield, I don't remember him even getting in the action too much. I don't know the official stats, how many touches, passes, whatever he had. Just my eyes watching it, he was never involved at all. He never came into the game. Whereas we'll come into Luca Del Torre. He came into the game in the second half. So that's why I gave Adams a 6 out of 10.
Nothing to argue there. I'm just going to go right on to the next one, which is Luca de la Torre. I think he was pretty good. Again, nothing that like really stood out. I think he did well getting forward. Was nice and tidy on the ball. I think he actually seems to fit the system pretty well, and I look forward to seeing if he can actually, build on this gameplay and improve.
Yep, this is one I actually scored, Joey, and if you would have told me in the first half, I would have given him a 6. He'd have been with Tyler Adams. But when we come to the subs, Reyna changed his play completely. He brought Luca Del Torre in. They linked up really well. And when Pulisic was on, they all three linked up really well. You could see him growing into the game when Reyna came on. So for whatever reason, that did not happen with Adams. So it's unfortunate, though Reyna didn't, due to his injury, he's not starting. But I think there is a potential for this combination, moving forward in the future in our midfield.
Yep. All right. Okay. Next up, we have Areola. Give him an 8. Pretty darn good. I'd say first half, splendid. Not really sure what else you could ask for.
Yeah, in the first half, he was honestly my man of the match in the first half. I was really impressed. His header was great. He was tracking back more so than the midfielders. He was at times he was in the space Adams should have been in. And I look up and I was like, what's he doing so far back? So to me, if the game ended in the first half, he probably would have been my man of the match. But he got subbed off, so it wasn't in the cards for him. But I thought this was a great game for him. Hopefully a confidence builder for him and maybe Greg Berhalter in him.
Yep. One thing that's interesting is Areola online seems to get a lot of hate. I've always enjoyed the guy. Before Charlotte got their MLS team, he was the sole reason I supported DC. I just like him, and I don't understand the stick that he gets, and I hope this will shut some people up. Honestly,
yeah. If we want to do our research, I would guess if you have the running stats for the first half, he's probably number 1 for US. If not, he's up there. just due to his tracking back.
Yep. All right. So next up, we have Jesus Ferreira.
Jesus Ferreira. This one I was toying with. This was a hard one because there was parts that were spectacular and other parts that were Anthony Robinson, let's say. Like I ended up going with a 7.5. The reason why is his goal. He got a goal. And also he did start the counterattack, which did eventually lead, to his goal. So there was a great through ball to him. He did the right thing. He laid it off to Pulisic, who then kind of did whatever he did and lost it, but they got it back. I think his game kind of ended in the first half. In the second half, I don't think he played as well. I think he took some speculative shots. I think that's where things went down to him. And like we've already discussed, in the 60th minute, he had a clear goal scoring opportunity that he fluffed. I mean, but again, his first half to me carried him to a 7.5. But I could easily see, a 7 being given for him.
Yep. The only thing I'll say is that that goal that he had was the perfect just striker's goal. Wasn't exactly a what do you call it?
A tap in.
Yeah, a tap in, and he was right in the perfect spot, and he just got the job done. That's all you can ask for. All right, and then we come to the man, the myth, the legend, Christian Pulisic. I gave him a 9 out of 10. That might seem high, but hey, he got his first hat trick, and I mean, oh, come on, it was great. Pulling out
high.
the worm.
No, 9's not high, but I'll let you finish about pimping Pulisic, and then we'll talk about him pimping his penalty kick.
Yeah. It was great, man. So I'll say that early on in the game, he, it's not that he was playing bad. It's just that they weren't getting as many chances as I guess they would have liked, because Panama came out pressing pretty hard. They were pushing for this win, and getting any type of consistently going forward was a little bit rough towards the beginning. Then as the match settled down and we were able to take control of the ball a little bit more, Pulisic he showed his class. It was great. The 2 penalties were amazing, and then the goal that he scored was just beautiful. Absolutely filthy. I feel bad for those defenders. There was nothing they could have done.
Yeah, I think he weaved through 3 defenders to get that goal. So he showed his class with his skills. But again, you talk about the worm. I'm not a fan of pimping penalty kicks. Statistically, you're supposed to be scoring from the spot. So it was a little overboard, which I think led to some heated confrontations later in the game. And you have to remember, Pulisic was wearing the captain's armband tonight. So to me, that was kind of not captain-esque. Recognize the situation that you're in. At one point, he got a yellow card for arguing with the ref. I believe by this time we were already up 4-0.
But well, before you say anything else, he should have been off by then.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Well, we're coming to. He should not have even started the second half. But you could see the words that he was saying to the ref because they were zoomed into his face, and yes, the officials were not great tonight. Not going to stick up for them. But when you're the captain, you need to act with a little more class. So, in my opinion, That means not pimping your penalty kicks. If it was open goal play, worldy, yeah, go ahead. Like his last one, I mean, for sure. Like go do whatever you want. Penalty kicks, I'm just not a fan because you should be scoring those. Like, if a keeper stops you, then he should be pimping the save because you're just that bad. I think statistically, like it's 80 to 90% of penalty kicks are converted. So it's definitely skewed in the favor of the person kicking the ball. So again, for me, he was the captain tonight. I do not, I think he's just a little immature at the moment to, be the captain. He is clearly the best player on the field, but being the best player doesn't always make you the best leader. So we'll see what happens going forward. Throughout the year, maybe, emotions were high. Obviously, his first hat trick, but still, you got to keep that under control for me.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair. The one thing I do want to know is how do you feel about the bat flip after a home run?
I am in favor of it because if you're the pitcher, you get the ball past it. Like again, it's different. It's your job to throw the ball past him. It's not, and the cards aren't stacked against you. In fact, if anything, the batting average, if you're a good player, you hit the ball 30% of the time, right? So the odds are in the pitcher's favor. So pimp any home run you want. Unwritten rule be damned. Like go ahead because statistically, your home run is less likely than the pitcher throwing one by you. So, I mean, if you want to carry that bat around second, third base, throw it in the outfield, wear it like a broom and go to Hogwarts, go for it. Like I'm all for that. Like put something in the game to make it fun. I think there's, baseball, we'll cover baseball later, in the year, but I think a lot of these unwritten rules and old timey things take the fun out of baseball, but that's a whole different topic for another day. But I do not condone pimping penalty kicks at all.
Fair enough. All right, next up, we get into the subs.
So I gave Giovanni Reyna a 6.5 out of 10, only because he didn't play the whole game. If he played the whole game, there's a potential he would be. He's not going to be man of the match, but he would probably been the second, third rated player overall. The only thing to note with him, a few things, is he missed a sure thing right when he came on, 46 minute, right, like within a minute in the game. Completely messed that up. After that, he settled down. He made every pass you would want. I know he's an attacking midfielder, but honestly, he had through balls, he had long balls. I mean, he's got it all, minus his finishing, which he can work on.
Yeah, I am really excited to get Reyna going again. I love him. I watched him at Dortmund, and he can be electric sometimes. Some of the moves that he pulls and passes he sees are just world class. I'm not saying that he's actually world class right now. It's just that some individual moments he has are beautiful. Where he might not have been able to put it all together tonight, I think in the future he is definitely one to look out for in a rising star.
100% agree.
Yep. All right. Kellen Acosta, I gave him a 7.5. He came on for Musa, and I think he seemed better than Musa. I think it kind of solidified the midfield a little bit more. And also things did slow down in the second half for the United States. And honestly, I think a little bit more of ball control helped out with that. And things were also getting a little bit more chippy as Panama were, struggling to find a way forward and score a goal. And Musa, Acosta, to me, they're pretty much the same. I just feel that Acosta had a better half than Musa.
I 100% agree.
Yep. All right, Aaron Long.
So Aaron Long, I gave him a 5.5. He is the lowest rated player, only due to not playing very long. However, when he was on, I don't think he was that great. Um, he was kind of out of control at times. Um, I mean, there were some defensive lapses, so to speak. Um, so that's really, I don't have too much more to say than that.
Yep. I mean, he helped the team get a win.
And got a yellow card.
Well, yeah. We still won though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's all that matters. But he we'll see.
Yeah.
He's gonna be. I don't think he'll be on the plane, but
All right, Busio. Gave him a 5. I don't know. Had some decent touches on the ball. Had some hair, and I don't know. Maybe he can grow into things a little bit and show a little bit more of what he can do. I just don't think he was able to fully grow into the match today.
Yep. And the last sub is Jordan Morris. I actually gave him the same score I gave Adams, who he replaced, and even he only played 19 minutes. But in those 19 minutes, I saw him on the ball. He actually did stuff with the ball. I mean, he didn't do that much, but he did more than Adams did. So, yeah, I mean, if it's me, I'm picking him over Adams. But like again, that's just me. I think our midfield, yeah, our midfield was the trouble spot tonight.
I think
my
ideally,
opinion.
yeah, I can agree with that. I think ideally Morris would prefer to play more of an attacking role, but I'll say one thing: he can run hard, you know. But let's leave it at that for the players, and let's go on to Greg Berhalter. How do you think he did?
With what he had, I think he did. I mean, 5-1, spectacular. Only change is I would never have sent Pulisic out after halftime. He's probably big and he's on 2 goals. Obviously, he's won a hat trick, but he's too important to lose to injury in a game that is, for all intents and purposes, decided. So I think that was a mistake because God forbid he get injured. If he got injured, then Berhalter, you're going right down to like a 4 or 3 for, incompetence. So, but it worked out. He got a hat trick. We won the game 5-1. So, yeah, I'll agree. 9 seems fine to me.
Yep. One thing I'll say is with the initial lineup, I was pretty surprised to see Ferreira starting. I was pretty much expecting PFOC to get the start. I think PFOC's just shown more of what he can do recently. But hey, I mean, Ferreira got a goal, and obviously we played pretty well with him in the system. And props to Berhalter. He got the job done.
I mean, this was a must-win game. So, so that should tell you something about the pecking order.
Yep. All right. And then one thing that you won't see on many other shows is what we have next. We're going to rate the officiating crew.
Yes. So, being a official myself for another sport, I have a little insight to officiating. So things I noticed from the very beginning, this ref came amped up. He was very animated starting out. One thing that was also really concerning to me is there was a player down at minute 20, a Panamanian player, right on the goal line. holding his head. Yet play was continued. Zach Steffen didn't look, to be of himself either. But some reason play wasn't stopped. Yes, Panama was still attacking, but you have a player down holding their head right on the goal line. I mean, if they continued attacking and Steffen stepped on him, it was just, to me, it was an injury waiting to happen. They got lucky that eventually I think the USA kicked the ball, cleared the ball out of bounds. But I think he should have, stopped play there, and then gone to a drop ball. I also think he was, very inconsistent on playing advantages. I will say, though, he did a great job for the second goal in letting, when Pulisic did get fouled, he let the advantage continue. Sometimes a quick whistle, would have stopped, or they just give the free kick. But he didn't. He did let the advantage play on, and it did lead to the goal. So that was good for him. I did think I think he could have been more. I don't know the final stats on the number of cards given out, but in the first half for sure, I think there were. I think he needed to get control of the game, because I think at times he was losing control of the game, which, obviously as the score gets more out of hand as an official, you really don't, at that point, when the game is essentially decided, your mind turns to keeping the players safe. And the fact that the cards were not coming out and they didn't come out just leads to the potential for injuries and cheap shots, because players pick up on this. So I think he needed to get control of the game earlier on, and he didn't do that. So overall, I think due to his inconsistency, due to the penalty bailing him out on VAR, the lack of yellow card on one penalty, but yellow card on another penalty. Again, all the inconsistencies, along with poor game management and potential dangerous situation, that just leads me to a 3 out of 10 for the officiating crew. But again, heads up to VAR for getting the penalty. They did catch it, so they actually helped the official out on that one. So that was good. Again, not all bad from the official, but it wasn't his best game, and hopefully he'll take this as a learning experience to get control of the game earlier, not be so animated at the beginning. He looked to be kind of friendly with the players. He just needs to take charge and set the tone from the beginning, especially when you're officiating a game that is so important between two teams. Going into that game, it is going to be physical. It is going to be rough. You don't want it to get out of hand early, which in my opinion, it did. And I believe this also led to the blow up on the sideline between Pulisic and some of the players. There's like a ball that was thrown in. Again, all these things could have been avoided. One, Pulisic not pimping his penalty kick, but two, better officiating would have, it let it boil to the point where this was almost inevitable. And thank God, it didn't come to anything. Luckily Pulisic threw a shoulder and not a right cross. But still, I just think they let the game get away from them tonight. So hopefully, again, learning experience for everyone. It is very hard to be an official, so I don't want to be too hard on them. But when you're in a game of this magnitude, you do not want it to get away from you.
Yep. On your point about the cards, there were 5 total given. That being said, he didn't bust out the first card until injury time of the first half. And one thing I'll say about all the CONCACAF refs is they let the players just beat up each other. And it's gotten Pulisic hurt several times. His last significant injury was because of, I forget who we were playing at the time, but Pulisic just got demolished by them. And I am not happy with CONCACAF officiating. They need to do better. That's all I can say.
Which, again, another reason he should not have been out in the second half, but we already discussed that.
Yep. Going to qualify. The worst that could happen is that we have to play against the Oceanic champion, and which will almost certainly be New Zealand. And it's pretty much a guarantee that the United States will qualify. However, crazy things have happened. I remember in 2017, everybody thought we were a shoe-in at this point, which led to, players crying because they messed up. And that's it. We have Costa Rica on Wednesday at 9:05 Eastern. I look forward to it. I'm not sure what to expect from the lineup. I imagine Berhalter will want to get a sure win, so Pulisic will probably get a good bit more playing time. And I think we'll go for the straight out win rather than just resting players or anything like that.
And Joey, do you know who Mexico plays?
Oh,
I assume they're playing a weaker
question.
team, unless it's Canada. My guess is they're playing Jamaica or El Salvador, but I'm not the biggest U.S. men's national team.
Yeah, El Salvador.
El Salvador, okay.
Yep.
So they do have the easier matchup. So
yeah, based on goal differential right now, we're in a pretty good spot. We'd have to lose pretty significantly to be outright eliminated from qualification. And even though Mexico goes against El Salvador next, we have a 6 goal lead against them right now, and we're pretty good. We're in a good spot.
I mean, I honestly wouldn't even. I would rest most of the main players if it was me. Only because I follow Premier League much more. I would rather see them. I'd rather see Pulisic be playing for Chelsea than to get injured in a mostly meaningless game. Nothing to take away from Costa Rica, but there's not a chance that the USA is going to lose by more than 6 goals.
Yep. As an avid Chelsea fan, I wholeheartedly agree. I just don't think Berhalter wants to take any chances whatsoever. All right, so that wraps things up. The only thing I would like to add is congrats to Charlotte FC on their second ever win. Swiderski looks wonderful. Ben Bender is the future of the club. I hope he stays around for a long time. And things are looking pretty good in Charlotte right now.
And if you haven't seen that filthy free kick from Swiderski, go look it up. That's world class. He is a Polish international. Obviously he's competing against Lewandowski, but Poland, unfortunately, due to the situation in Russia and Ukraine, they didn't actually have their games this time. So who knows if he'll get called up again when the time comes. But we'll cover Charlotte on this channel as well. So stay tuned for those games. We'll do some watch-alongs and talk more about it. But I echo everything you just said.
All right. Any last-minute thoughts at all on anything that happened tonight or going forward?
Going forward, we're at a better place than we've been in the past, few years. I think USA Soccer is on the rise somewhat. Again, as we've talked about, between us, I think the USA, we produce athletes, not footballers. So I think that's slowly starting to change. Although when you look at some of our best players, you look at Reina, he's not technically from the United States. He was born in England. So we have a lot of those type of players. So we just need to keep focusing on the academy and youth development. Luckily, when we host the World Cup in 2026, rule change increases the teams from 32 to, I believe, 46. So qualification should be, well, we'll automatically qualify because we're a host nation. But it would, I don't think in our lifetime, Joey, we'll see another World Cup where the United States does not qualify. I mean, I'm saying that now. Who knows? We'll get to what is it, 2032, and who knows? But due to the changes, I just don't see it happen. I see CONCACAF is weak. I believe Mexico is actually getting weaker due to their domestic league. That's another conversation for another day. And the only other comment I have is great for Canada. Glad to see them, win the stage. I think I'm really excited to see where they go. I think Jonathan David is a real player. So, I think they operate great as a team. This could be their quote unquote golden generation. Not that they've ever had a real generation at all, to speak. But as we get into more closer to the World Cup time, we'll start talking about all the other teams. We'll scout. When the groups are drawn, we'll scout the teams, discuss those, and yeah. I mean, 5-1. It's a great night for the United States. Couldn't ask for anything better. They showed up when they had to.
I agree wholeheartedly. Things look bright for American soccer or football. Yeah, I think we'll leave it there. Until next time.
We'll see you
See
later.
you later.